You ever hear something so specific, so perfectly timed, that you just know someone slipped? Like when your friend swears they're not mad, but then they accidentally mention the exact date and time you hurt their feelings. Yeah, that's exactly the energy Robert Downey Jr. brought to a recent roundtable interview, and people are losing it. Reports say RDJ may have just confirmed the long-rumored restraining order Willem Dafoe filed against Pedro Pascal over that now infamous moment Pedro touched Willem's wife at his Walk of Fame ceremony. Yup. What started as a weird, almost too intimate chin graze has now spiraled into full Hollywood chaos, and Robert Downey Jr., of all people, just cracked it wide open. Let's talk about how one offhand comment turned speculation into confirmation.
Whether they like it or not, they're never getting rid of me.
He won't leave me alone.
Been a dream to join the MCU. The movie is called The Fantastic Four. I'll confess, I did all my stretching for real.
And why this might be the nail in the coffin for Pedro Pascal's golden boy image. So here's how it really went down. Robert Downey Jr. was mid-press tour for what should have been a no-drama, all-smiles ensemble film. Your standard, everybody's a professional junket setup. Clean-cut questions, glossy promo lighting. Everyone's on their best behavior. But then, during a roundtable Q&A about on-set dynamics, someone brought up the importance of maintaining respect between co-stars and their families. Without missing a beat, RDJ leans in and says, I think we all need to learn boundaries. Some people are so charming they forget that someone else's spouse isn't a prop. Willem handled it like a gentleman. I would have filed a restraining order too. The air left the room. The moderator froze mid-question. Co-stars looked around like they'd just seen someone drop a live grenade. Then, camera cut. Fast forward to the final edited video posted online, and surprise, surprise, that part's missing. But reports say multiple people in the press room had already recorded the raw feed. And within hours, those clips were being passed around like wildfire in media group chats and private Discord servers. And let's be honest, RDJ didn't drop that line by mistake. That someone's spouse phrasing, the restraining order kicker, it wasn't vague. It wasn't subtle. It was a laser-guided missile, and every fan watching knew exactly who he meant, Pedro Pascal. For weeks, fans have been whispering. Theories, TikToks, timelines, all building around one central question. Did Willem Dafoe really file a restraining order against Pedro Pascal after the Walk of Fame incident? Now, thanks to RDJ, we're no longer dealing in rumors. We're connecting receipts. Reports say that immediately after the clip began circulating, damage control teams on both sides went into overdrive. One anonymous insider claims a rep from Pedro's agency personally called a major entertainment outlet and pleaded with them not to run the quote, calling it reckless and taken out of context. But the moment had already gone viral. Now outlets are piecing everything together like a puzzle fans already solved. A blind item from late 2024 about a married actor filing private legal paperwork after an inappropriate gesture by a co-star. Pedro abruptly backing out of an A24 table read just 1 week later, a film Willem was confirmed for. Photos of Willem leaving a Golden Globes pre-party early after arriving and spotting Pedro already inside. And then there's the resurfaced video. Pedro reaching for Willem's wife's chin with what looked like a too familiar smirk, and Willem immediately pulling back. Separately? Maybe it's coincidence. Together? It's a story that practically confirms itself. Here's the rule. When someone's hit with controversy, the louder the silence from their peers, the more damning it becomes. And right now, Willem Dafoe's silence? It's not just quiet. It's tactical. Reports say he's actively turning down interviews where Pedro's name is even on the press schedule. He's opted out of 2 festivals Pedro is rumored to attend, and his reps are reportedly using the phrase "no comment" instead of denying anything. And let's be clear, no comment is Hollywood for "yeah, it happened." Meanwhile, his peers are using subtweets, emoji chains, and cryptic captions to pick sides. Charm isn't consent. That wasn't random. Then you've got Mark Ruffalo, always the instigator, who commented on RDJ's behind-the-scenes photo with a suspiciously timed combo of emojis. Beverage box eyes chart decreasing. Translation? Pedro's brand is tanking. And Hollywood knows it. Even fan accounts are saying what the press won't. This isn't gossip anymore. This is confirmation by omission. Behind the scenes, total chaos. Reports say Pedro's PR team is in emergency lockdown mode, desperately trying to contain the wildfire. Sources close to the situation claim they've issued quiet warnings to journalists not to mention the RDJ comment during interviews, and if they do, Pedro walks. He's also reportedly pulled out of 3 upcoming appearances: a GQ feature shoot, a live podcast taping, and a fan convention where he was set to headline. All gone, quietly erased from his calendar. And the most telling? His skincare deal. Pedro was poised to be the face of a luxury men's self-care brand. Think calming serums, mindful masculinity marketing, soft earth tones. But now, the brand has gone radio silent. No teaser campaign, no announcement. Because, let's face it, how do you sell grounded and gentle when the top trending search next to your name is restraining order? Sources say the brand is reviewing the partnership, which is PR speak for "we're this close to cutting ties." Pedro's team is trying everything, redirecting headlines, deleting fan tweets, maybe even floating a redemption arc down the line. But at this point, the mask is slipping, and the Hollywood machine is quietly preparing to move on without him. Pedro Pascal's reputation has always been built on being that guy. The internet's sweetheart, the charming, approachable, slightly chaotic uncle of Hollywood. But now, that glossy image is getting hit with a magnifying glass, and what people are finding underneath isn't as soft and sweet as they thought. Reports say this isn't the first time Pedro's behavior has made people uncomfortable. It's just the first time people are paying attention. Multiple press tour moments are being dug up where Pedro's flirty energy felt off. There's a now viral red carpet clip where he leans in too close to a female co-star, prompting her to physically step away. At the time, fans joked about it being awkward cute. Now, those same fans are calling it a boundary violation we all ignored. Another moment from a behind-the-scenes shoot has resurfaced. Pedro casually walks up to a stylist and starts massaging her shoulders while cameras roll. She laughs, but visibly tenses. The video's being reshared with captions like, "We thought it was cute. It was actually a red flag." TikTok breakdowns are reframing every funny Pedro moment into something that feels more calculated. He wasn't being goofy. He was being familiar. Too familiar. And suddenly, people aren't swooning. They're squinting. This is when you know a celebrity's in real trouble. Pedro Pascal's fanbase used to be one of the most loyal corners of the internet. We're talking daily edits, mood board aesthetics, memes about his hands, his voice, his coffee orders. It was borderline cult status. But now, it's all falling apart. Reports say 2 of the largest Pedro fan accounts on Instagram, both with over 300K followers, went private within hours of the RDJ leak. No statement. Just gone. And on TikTok, one of the biggest fan-run accounts, known for viral thirst edits, completely scrubbed their content. No posts. No profile picture. Just a blank page. Even Etsy shops that sold Pedro-themed merch are bailing. Several listings for "Pedro is my comfort person" mugs have been pulled. One seller wrote, "We no longer align with the values associated with this celebrity." The Pedro Defense Squad, which once shut down rumors with brutal efficiency, has gone quiet. And when the defenders disappear, that's when the wolves come in. The fandom shift is complete. They're not just disappointed. They feel betrayed. Let's be clear, Robert Downey Jr. is no stranger to scandal, his own or anyone else's. But one thing he's mastered over the years? Timing. This wasn't a flippant comment. This was a strategic mic drop. Reports say RDJ and Willem Dafoe have been quietly close for years. Their careers have crossed paths at multiple indie festivals, and they both sit at the prestige tier of actors who can jump from Marvel to Cannes without breaking a sweat. Sources claim they bonded during a jury panel at Cannes a few years ago and have kept in touch ever since, sharing admiration for old-school acting values and respecting the craft. So when Robert made that remark about someone's spouse not being a prop, he wasn't just standing up for a peer. He was backing a friend. Hollywood took it for what it was, a signal. A nod to insiders. A public alignment. A subtle but deadly confirmation. Willem filed the restraining order, and RDJ just said what everyone else was too afraid to admit.
And now?
The lines are drawn. The industry isn't asking questions. They're choosing sides. And Pedro Pascal? He's on the wrong one. Pedro Pascal's charm was never an accident. It was a campaign. A finely tuned blend of dad jokes, fan selfies, latte runs, and chaos goblin energy. But when a brand is built on safety, you can't afford cracks.
And now?
It's all crumbling at once. Reports say multiple brand deals are being reevaluated. A luxury watch company that filmed a campaign with Pedro in June hasn't released the footage, and insiders say they're holding it indefinitely. Fashion houses that once fought over him during award season are now passing. And those Pedro is the face of modern masculinity. GQ spreads? Editors are quietly shifting focus to newer, safer stars. Even Netflix, which had been in talks with Pedro for a new limited series, is reportedly pushing production back due to creative conflicts. Translation? They don't want the backlash. The man once hailed as the most lovable star of the decade is now being called a PR liability. The goofy interviews? The flirty energy? The quirky chaos? It's starting to look less like a personality and more like a performance. And in Hollywood, once people stop believing in the character, they start rewriting the script.
So what now?
If Pedro Pascal's team knows what they're doing, they'll pull him off the grid. No interviews, no events, maybe even a mental health break roll out to earn sympathy. But if he doesn't pivot, if he doubles down, tries to joke his way out of this, or denies our DJ's not-so-subtle confirmation, it's game over. Because when Robert Downey Jr. calls out your behavior in public, you don't just have a PR problem, you've got a credibility crisis. And in Hollywood, that's the kind of thing you don't bounce back from.